Hi, in today's session I would like to talk about the mineral iron. Iron has a couple of very important roles in the body, and probably its most important role is that of an oxygen transporter. And what that means is that it actually carries oxygen to every single cell in your body because they all need to breathe, as well as carrying oxygen to your brain. Now, what's interesting about that is that 25% of all of the oxygen that comes into your body is relegated to the brain. And that's why exercise is so vital for keeping a good, sharp memory and staving off senility, dementia. Alzheimer's is another issue altogether. That can be staved off by really examining your diet and eliminating some of those things that would build plaque in the brain. There's a lot of talk about aluminum in underarm deodorants as being something that is absorbed into the body and makes its way to the brain. And what's interesting about aluminum is that once it gets into the brain or into the body, it doesn't chelate with anything, so it can't be eliminated from the body. I personally use the Thai stones as a deodorant because it alkalizes the body. It's kind of like a salt, alkalizes the body. Bacteria, germs cannot live in an alkaline environment. They thrive in a more acidic environment in the body. So in addition to iron being an oxygen carrier, it also facilitates protein synthesis, which means it helps your body utilize the protein that you consume. Iron is also good for the immune system. It helps support its functionality. And so from a symbolic point of view, which is really another way of looking at the energy of a nutrient, and you know I do that with all of the nutrients, is that iron represents emotional control. And think about it, what happens when oxygen, now oxygen you need for fire, so you can begin to see that, you know, you get into a raging anger thing, you're going to consume a lot of oxygen. And the more iron you have, the more you'll be able to, on some levels, control your emotions. You control the amount of oxygen that's going to be spent, is a good way of looking at it, in terms of it being spent in anger or being spent in terms of utilization of nourishing the brain and the cells. So in formulas that have iron, they are there to help the body retain or maintain emotional control in all kinds of situations. And look at it from yet another point of view. When a body is low in iron, then there's anemia. And so with anemia, there's a washed out feeling, lethargic. And what's happening there is that because oxygen represents spirit, there's almost a lack of inspiration, a lack of motivation. It's like feeling overwhelmed, and that's because the doubt is making the individual feel that they can't handle whatever it is that they're involved in. So take a look at your multiple, make sure you're getting a decent amount of iron in there. And if you're having some fatigue issues, take a look at fixing your adrenal glands. And to that end, obviously, I do some adrenal support products, one called Energy, the other called Stress. And you can take a look at that. And certainly the stress formula has iron in it along with B12 and folic acid, just to make sure that you can maintain your proper levels of what you need in order to deal with stress from a position of strength. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening. I hope you have a fabulous day and maintain your cool. Don't allow people to get under your skin. Don't allow people to trigger a negative emotional response. Take care, be well, and have a fabulous day.